Hi friends, so today we're at the Winnie Palmer Nature Reserve, and in this lesson I am going to talk about gardening, some gardening tools, and how you can garden at home and why it's important. So here are some simple gardening tools. So first we have a pair of gloves, and these will keep your hands from getting dirty or in case there's anything sharp that might hurt you. This is called a trowel, and it's just a small shovel, and it helps you dig so that you can create a nice hole for your seeds, and then you can put the dirt back on top. And then this looks like a little frog, but it's for your knees, and I'll show you how to use all of this. So if we come over here, we have different plots for the garden. And this is down at the Winnie Palmer, and they have different gardens. So this is one kind of garden. As you can see here, they have this big box that they created for the garden so that it's secure. And you can plant flowers and vegetables and some fruits in your garden, whatever you would like. This looks like it was flowers, but now because it's becoming winter time, they're all dying out, and that's okay because that's what's supposed to happen. So then if you come over here, there's another one, and these ones are pretty big. And if you garden at home, you don't have to make yours this big because this is at a nature reserve. They also have these big gardens over here that are fenced in. And the fence is so that deer and other animals don't get into the garden and eat all of the things that they planted. So these ones also have big boxes around the plots, and a plot is what you call the mound of dirt that you have all your seeds in. So their plots are really long and big. And this also looks like some flowers as well, but over here they have some stuff covered up, and that's because it's still growing. There's still things that they can use underneath these. And over here they've been weeding out the garden so that they can use it for another season. The first step for gardening is you want to put on your gloves. Here we have our gloves. And then you want to get your foam pad, and you're going to move it to wherever you need it, like that. And then you'll kneel down on it so that the ground doesn't hurt your knees. And then you'll get your trowel and you'll stick it in the ground and pull up the dirt so that you have a little hole to put your seed in right there, and then you can cover it back up. All right, so now we can talk about gardening at home and why it's important, and a fun thing for you guys to do at home with your parents. So for gardening at home, it doesn't have to be super complicated and big like the ones that the Winnie Palmer has. Those ones they've been working on for a very long time. So when you first start to think about should you garden at home, you have to think about what you'd want to plant. Would you want to plant flowers or fruits or vegetables? You could plant some of your favorite foods like tomatoes or bell peppers or cucumbers. Those can be easy things to garden. And so you'll pick what you'd want to do. So I think I would want to plant some flowers. So I would go to the store and I would pick out my favorite flowers in the store, and they'll come in little seeds, or sometimes with flowers, they'll come and you'll have to plant them in the ground and then they'll bloom out. But after you get your seeds, you're gonna have to make your gardening plot. And it doesn't have to be as big, like I said, it doesn't have to be as big, but you have to pull up the ground and you have to make sure that it's all watered and nice. And then you also have to make sure that the stuff that you plant isn't going to be damaged by any animals that you might have, like squirrels or raccoons or deer or anything, because they really like that stuff. So my dream garden would be flowers, and it would be little pots of flowers, and that can be considered a garden as well, if that's what suits you. So, and it's also important to do gardening, because especially with fruits and vegetables, because then you can eat the fruits and vegetables that you grew and that you harvested when they were ready, and then it's super rewarding, and they taste so good because they're all natural and nice and you made them. All right, so this is our book, and it's called Up in the Garden and Down in the Dirt. Up in the garden, I stand and plan, my hands full of seeds and my head full of dreams. Spring sun shines down to melt the sleepy snow. Wind whistles throughout last year's plants, and mud sucks at my rain boots. It's not quite time, Nana says. Down in the dirt, things need to dry out and warm up. What's down there, I ask. Down in the dirt is a whole busy world of earthworms, insects digging and building and stirring up soil. They're already working down in the dirt. Up in the garden, we snap brittle stalks, scoop rustly armfuls, and wheel away weeds for the chickens. While they squabble and scratch, we spread compost over the soil. Down in the dirt, pillbugs chew through last year's leaves. I give a gentle poke. They roll up tight and hide in planted suits of armor, roly-poly around. Up in the garden, it's time to plant. I trail a furrow with my finger and sprinkle seeds in a careful row. Give them a drink, Nana says. We pat them down to snuggle in the dark. Down in the dirt, a tomato hornworm wrestles, waiting for wings, and the leaves where she'll lay her eggs. Up in the garden, carrot plants sprout, pea blossoms bloom, wasps are on the prowl, and honeybees visit, legs opened with pollen. I weed and wilt in the sun so strong, even Nana looks for shade. Down in the dirt, earthworms tunnel deep. I'm jealous of their cool, damp dark. Up in the garden, rain shower. Nana turns the hose on me. Yee! I hide behind the cucumber vines, but their leaves can't save me. I shiver and laugh, drenched in Nana's rain. Down in the dirt, the water soaks deep. Roots drink it in, and long-legged spiders stilt walk over the streams. Up in the garden, there's so much to eat. Ladybugs feast on the aphids. Nana crunches green beans. I bite a ripe tomato warm from the sun. Juice dripples down my chin. Down in the dirt, a robin's beak finds a cricket, a beetle, a grub. Slugs are scrumptious too. Up in the garden, we pick cukes and zucchini, harvesting into the dark. Bats swoop through the sunflowers, and I pluck June bugs from the basil until it's time for bed. Down in the dirt, skunks work the night shift. They sniffle and dig and gobble cutworms while I sleep. Up in the garden, a praying mantis walks to hunt mosquitoes. Nana sprays the aphids, and I'm after grasshoppers, ready to swoosh. But snap! Something else is faster. Down in the dirt, a smooth, shiny garter snake crunches on supper. Up in the garden, the wind grows cool. Pumpkins blush orange and sunflowers bow to September. Nana ties them together to build a house for reading. Down in the dirt, an orb weaver spins her web, strand by silken strand. She munches on moths tonight. Up in the garden, colored leaves litter the squash vines, and we know the cold is coming. Hurry, hurry, and harvest. There's enough for the neighbors too. Down in the dirt, frantic ants gather what we leave behind. They're storing food for colder days ahead. Up in the garden, frost draws lace on leftover leaves where secret egg sacs hang, waiting for the warm to return. We say goodbye and spread the winter blankets. Down in the dirt, beetles burrow and ants scurry home. Earthworms curl up tight in the dark. When Grandpa calls us in for soup, an autumn moon is rising. Up in the garden, dry corn stalks tremble and the wind smells like winter. But the long ripe days of summer are still rest in the garden beds. The ladybugs and bumblebees, earthworms and ants are hunkered down, hiding, biding their time. Dreams of sunshine and blossoms and sprouts under the bare arms of trees and blankets of snow. A whole new garden sleeps down in the dirt.